Hey everyone, welcome back to Learner's World. Today's video is over factors that influence education. I'll have a Quizlet linked in the description box below if you want to check that out. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with hurricanes. Hurricanes destroy many buildings, displacing students and teachers, causing children to miss school. For example, Hurricane Katrina and her sister Rita had decimated schools, scattered students, and the plans for education in the South had to be set aside. In the South, the school officials insisted students were not receiving a watered-down education. Some of the schools were closed for several weeks, though. 9/11. 9/11 has caused a shift in school curriculum to include national security, current events, and global awareness. It's also prompted discussions on topics such as terrorism, cultural understanding, and civics. On 9/11, students in Hershey, Pennsylvania watched on a television as the second plane hit the South Tower. A student who became a high school teacher shows her students the same Today Show episode that she watched in that class. Terrorism. Terrorism disrupts attendance and student performance through fear and violence. Often schools are targeted as symbols of societal progress. In Dapchi, Nigeria, after an attack on the village, dozens of schoolgirls went missing on February 23, 2018. In early April, chemical weapons were dropped in Duma. World Wars. So during the First World War, the British government raised the school leaving age from 15 to 14. Not only did children lose their education, but they also lost their free milk and school dinners. As one of the world wars progressed, young male teachers got conscripted into the army. The world wars allowed for the mobilizing of schools for the war effort, with the curriculum to be more practical and patriotic. On the practical curriculum side, they had math, science, and vocational skills. On the patriotic curriculum side, they had social studies curriculum. Both types of curriculum were to support the military and industrial needs. Pandemics. Some regions have a high spark risk for pandemics. Pandemics have the ability to cause economic damage. Pandemics that have impacted education are the COVID-19, smallpox, influenza, swine flu, and bubonic plague, just as a few examples. So the bubonic plague, students vacated centers of education due to loss of enrollment in qualified educators. There was a decline in the quality of education received between 1350 and 1380. Smallpox helped to usher the public health communication for immunization. Influenza was deadlier to young adults and children, which boosted absenteeism. Swine flu caused more than 700 schools in the U.S. alone to be closed. And COVID-19, students went from in-person learning environments to new teaching and learning environments at home. Tornadoes. Tornadoes rotate dangerously fast. Weak tornadoes will last usually less than 10 minutes. Strong tornadoes generally last 20 minutes or longer. Violent tornadoes last more than an hour. School always might not be the best place during a tornado. Building codes do not always ensure schools can withstand winds that tornadoes can muster. The Great Depression. So districts could not pay teacher salaries on time, and a few districts actually did issue promissory notes. The Dust Bowl. Due to dust storms, schools on the Great Plains sent students home. School administrators were worried about student health, and there were cases of dust pneumonia. Virus. Teaching about virus biology can raise public awareness about disease transmission and methods to prevent infection. Any year hardly passes without a viral infection. Due to children encountering a large number of other people, especially at schools, infections can spread a little more easily and possibly cause an outbreak. Floods. Schools have a vital role in every community. Muzarabani in the Shona language means floodplains. In the 2000s, floods have happened unprecedentedly. Flooding can contaminate school drinking water and could lead to power outages. The government. Education isn't a constitutional right. The federal government allocates funding for schools. 3% of the federal budget was spent on Education in 2017. By administering the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the federal government can evaluate each school district. State legislatures set mandatory requirements for students to be able to graduate. Access to education. So universal access to education is when people have an equal opportunity in education. Universal access is incorporated into the U.S. education system. In India, in 2009, the President of India signed and approved a bill granting children ages 6 to 14 education. Wildfires. Children and infants are especially susceptible to environmental hazards that wildfires cause. The Guide for Developing High-Quality School Emergency Operations Plans and Guide for Helping High-Quality Emergency Operations Plans for Institutions of Higher Education to get developed into a partnership with 6 federal agencies. Earthquakes. Earthquakes will strike suddenly without warning. Preparing for earthquakes will lessen the chances of someone attending or working at schools getting injured. Psychological factors. So psychological factors include motivation, self-efficacy, and the stress level of the student. Motivation will drive the student to put in the needed effort into the work. Self-efficacy is a student's belief in their own abilities. Stress plays a more nuanced role. The right amount of stress can help a student stay on track. On the other hand, too much stress can be detrimental, leading to other issues like anxiety for the student. Social factors. Social factors are seen as peer influence and the student-teacher relationship. Social factors can impact learning in a class, participation, behavioral and discipline, and self-esteem and confidence. So class participation is the relationships a student has from the teacher and peers are supportive and inclusive. The student is more likely to speak up and ask questions. Behavior and discipline. The behavior and discipline of a student is greatly influenced by relationships with other students and the teacher in the classroom. And self-esteem and confidence. The support and feedback from peers and teachers will impact the self-esteem and confidence of a student. That's all I have for today's video. If y'all found this helpful, please hit that thumbs up button, and if there's a topic you want to learn about in a future video, leave it in the comment section below. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye!